You just recently returned from China, right?
Yes.
And can you explain what the program was that you went with?
It's a program called People to People. It's for student ambassadors. They take students from third grade through high school to different countries or different places to help break down cultural barriers. And it was started by President Eisenhower, who traveled himself and saw how different everybody was and similar also. So he wanted to break down the barriers.
That's very good. Now, how old are you?
I'm 15.
So you're just starting high school now, right?
I'm going to be a sophomore.
Okay. How many people were in your group?
There were 42 kids and 4 leaders.
So then, where did you go?
We started in Beijing, and then we went to Xi'an, Guilin, Shanghai, and then 3 smaller cities, which still had about 1 million in them apiece.
Wow.
That's their idea of small. And then back to Shanghai, and then back home.
Now, how long did you stay over there?
17 days.
Okay, now last time we talked, you said you were going to be staying with the family?
Yes.
And how did that go?
It was pretty fun. They had a little boy there who was always getting into trouble, and I think he was trying to show off for us.
Yeah. Did they speak English?
No.
How did you communicate?
We kind of just made hand motions, showed them what we were going to do, and they had previous students, so they kind of knew what was going on already.
So how did that feel being the one that was not speaking the language of the country?
It was hard, but they deal with so many tourists over there that they're used to it already.
Really?
So they kind of know if you want something to drink, you just kind of point at it.
And they kind of second guess you?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the hardest thing getting used to when you were over there?
The time.
How do you mean?
We had a 13-hour flight over there. So being on an airplane for 13 hours, we got there at 2 in the morning, but it didn't feel like 2 in the morning. So we all kind of just stayed up at the hotel until it was time to go. And most of us were tired all day.
Yeah. What was your most memorable? What things are you going to remember the most about this trip?
The terracotta soldiers, the Great Wall, and being in such a big city.
Is that the largest city you've ever been in?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It was pretty cool.
What kinds of things did you do when you were in Shanghai?
Well, we took a bullet train to Shanghai from one of the smaller cities.
What's a bullet train?
It's a train that can go 180 miles an hour.
Oh my goodness. Besides a plane, is that the fastest you've ever traveled?
Yes.
How'd that feel?
Didn't feel too bad until you looked out the window and saw everything just going right by.
Then you brought back one of your souvenirs. What you want to explain to me what these are?
These are the terracotta soldiers. This is the emperor right here.
Okay.
This is a general, an official, a horse, an archer, and a common soldier.
Why are those so special to you?
They're made with the same clay that the actual terracotta soldiers were made with.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool that I got to bring part of that home. And I just think that the soldiers are cool.
Did you really like that?
Yeah, it was fun going in there and seeing the different pits and seeing all the soldiers.
Do you feel like this trip's changed you?
Yeah.
How?
I had to be more responsible on the trip and get my stuff ready, pack it all up myself, And
No mom around, huh?
yeah. And I had to be down in the hotel lobby on time, be places on time. Otherwise we got yelled at or something. I just feel more mature after going on the trip.
Well, how neat. So, what things are you going to be able to take to high school when you go back?
I can take all my stories and tell those to my friends, and they'd like that. We visited some schools over there, and I can kind of compare it to our school.
How are they different?
The schools that I went to were more of like boarding schools, and they were there for the whole week, and they'd go home on the weekends.
Is that kind of the standard down there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. And their playground was like a full-size soccer field with 2 full-size basketball courts on the end.
So they had no playground equipment except for the soccer and the basketball.
Yeah.
Does that go for all ages then?
That was like 6th grade through,
What would be high school?
yeah, not quite high school yet, but like junior high or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all very nice when we met them.
What's your favorite story when you were over there? If somebody was going to ask you.
Well, we went to the Olympic Center.
Really?
We didn't get to go inside, but we went outside of it. And we were walking around, and we kind of got a circle formed around, like with our group, and then some Chinese people came in, and they kind of joined in, and we got a guy to dance, and we got a guy to fake fight with one of our kids in our group, and we got plenty of pictures of that.
Well, that sounds wonderful. It sounds like you had a really good time. Were you glad to get back?
Yeah.
What did you miss the most?
Probably my Xbox.
No play in there. Were you able to communicate with home at all?
I could have texted, but I didn't want to because my mom told me not to because it cost extra.
Okay, well that's fair enough. So, I really, really want to thank you for coming in on such short notice. So it sounds like you had a really good time. Mm-hmm. Would you do it again?
If it was with the same group of kids, I would definitely do it again. But I'd probably think twice if it was with somebody new.
So you made some good friends on this trip?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds really neat. It's kind of rare that you can make friends. Were the people that go, were they all from Nebraska?
12 of them, and not including me, were from Nebraska. And then the others were from Virginia, Wisconsin, and there was one from Michigan and one from Indiana.
So not only you broadened your outlook, not only because you were going to China, but because you were meeting people from other states too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did they do things differently? Did you have a chance to compare notes?
Yeah. Wisconsin's about the same as Nebraska, but Virginia's different.
How?
They told us they like to go play on the beach, which is, we don't have any beaches here. And they said especially when there's a hurricane, like really close.
Really?
Which surprised me.
Yeah, I don't think I'd play on a beach in a hurricane.
No.
But I really appreciate your time. I know you've been shopping all day, so I'm not going to hold you too long. But I was really interested in finding out what you thought and what your experiences were in coming back.
The plane ride home was pretty fun until we landed, because then I got tired.
You're still sharing all your memories with all your friends, so you didn't realize it, did you?
Yeah.
So the time changes really affected you?
Yeah. When we got home, or to Chicago, it was 5 o'clock, but it felt like 7 in the morning.
Because that's what time it would have been in China?
Yep. And I wasn't tired at that point, but when I got home from Omaha, I was tired, so I slept for an hour on the way home, on the drive home, and then I stayed up all night and wasn't tired that night or the next day.
So how many days did it take you to get over your jet lag?
2 or 3 until it was all the way over.
Well, that sounds pretty good. I've never experienced that before, but it sounds like you had fun. Does this make you want to travel even more now?
Yeah.
Now that you've been to China?
I think it'd be fun to travel.
What places would you like to see if you had your choice?
Europe and Australia. Italy, places like that.
Why would you choose a place like Italy?
I've been interested in history, and there's a lot of history in Italy and Europe and those areas.
And then why Australia?
Because Australia is just fun.
Okay, I can deal with that one. I think everybody else can too. I really appreciate you coming in. You know, like I said, I'm not going to keep you long, but I appreciate you sharing your favorite souvenirs.